All right, welcome to the HMA NCAA Champion Marathon. We are live. Sam Herring and Jude Swisher here for the first time, and man, it's been quite a while.
3 months, I think.
3 months. So we're back. We're back in big fashion, and
Huge.
this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be lots of fun.
How's this to end a hiatus, Sam? We get a bunch of NCAA champs on all at one time. Well, not at one time, one sequentially, one
Yeah.
after the other.
Big word.
And this is so exciting. This is so fun.
It really is.
Yeah, Sam, you want to run through the schedule for us real quick?
Let's do it. So we will have AJ Ferrari coming on in just a little bit once we start talking here, probably around 10:40. After that, we're going to have a little break, have Austin O'Connor at 11:15. This is all Eastern time. Roman Bravo Young at 11:45. And then after that, we go with Nick Lee, hopefully Aaron Brooks, trying to get Carter Starocki, maybe a couple other Penn State guests on. And, yeah, we'll roll from there. So this is going to be lots of fun.
Super fun. And, I mean, for me, having not recorded a podcast in I think the last one we recorded was with Eric Gibson, literally like December 12th.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fun, right? Like I woke up today and I was all excited. I got those butterflies in my chest like you do before, any competition. It's just good to get back in the saddle. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's fun. I mean, I remember why I like this so much.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's exciting. So, for our listeners, we're going to actually, big apology. I'm very sorry that we didn't produce any content for like 3 months, from the bottom of our hearts. We wanted to, but just really due to the wrestling season and the grind of the school year and everything like that, we had to put HMA on the back burner just for a short period of time. Just so we can focus on our priorities. Cause if anything, like Sam and I have always been really clear with each other and with you guys, like what our priorities are. Right. We are students. We are family men. We are wrestlers. We're training athletic individuals. We compete all the time. So, this stuff is high on our priority list. After all that stuff's done, then we can, put extra effort into home advantage. So, I wrestled in the state tournament, and my goal was, and I've made this public, it's to be a state champion. And, so that's what I was training for, the last year. Right. But during the wrestling season, I talked to Sam and, we both agreed, like, while we're training for our respective state championships and things like that, we're going to take a step back from home advantage just so we can focus on it. And, I missed it, but I think it was good. I think it was the right decision because, come time for the state tournament, I was focused, I was dialed in, and I was ready to go compete. I didn't feel distracted. I didn't feel, any of this other stuff that I have felt previously. So I think that, my preparation for the state tournament and other competitions of that nature, I think it was good. I don't know, Sam, did I miss anything there? Or do I speak for both of us?
You nailed it all. And we've both felt the same way since we started 2 years ago. That was like one of our clearest things is wrestling comes first, school comes first. And this is something we love doing. So I'm glad to be back, and this is going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and roll the AJ Ferrari interview in just a couple minutes, and we'll be going from there. So awesome. We'll get him up here, and then after that we'll have a little break and then get on with Austin O'Connor. So hope you guys enjoy.
Awesome.
All right, AJ Ferrari, welcome to the show. How's it been since last Saturday?
It's been great, man. It's been a long couple days. It seems like, it feels like it's been longer than it's already been, but
really,
yeah, just taking it all in. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's been a week just with school and everything. Everything's been kind of slowed down, taking everything in, but it's been great. Yeah, just to settle with my family and my team and just everybody, in the whole town.
You've been training since Saturday?
Yeah.
What's the schedule been like?
I mean, not too crazy, mainly working on transitioning from folk style, freestyle, from Olympic trials. So pretty quick turnaround there. Especially since it was 2 weeks away from like whenever I originally wrestled this past weekend. I mean, it's crazy how they set it up compared to other countries where they wrestle later on to prepare
Right.
the tryout stuff. It kind of sucks, but for me, I'm just gonna work on my transitions. Transition leg raise, transition gut wrench. Those are the biggest things. Parterre on the mat wrestling. So just doing some of that, and it was nice that Imar was here, so I got to go with Isaiah Martinez yesterday.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was really good, especially for me too, because I could have already double, and I like to set my double like the same timing as Jordan Burroughs, so helping for possibly JB,
Yeah,
better having
100%.
somebody at 210 pounds, very similar.
Yeah, that's definitely a big helper. So obviously you got a couple different weight classes at Olympic team trials. You go 97, which is what, 213, I think, and then 86, which is like
Right.
186, 184.
Yeah.
What are you thinking right now? What's your thought
I'm
process?
probably gonna go up, but I haven't decided. You can always cut down, last minute. But right now, it seems more likely to go up. That way I can keep my strength, because my whole wrestling style is based on strength and athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
So why not use that to my advantage and stick with that? So
For sure.
me just putting on the size, and that's what I really been focused on. Lifting and doing more reps this last week, and then next week really dialing in like I did the week before at NCAAs, and knowing what I need to get to take these dudes down, and how to transition, leg laser coverage, so that's going to be the biggest thing for me. Same thing, same approach as NCAAs, no different than any other tournament. Just
Right.
going with a mindset that, I'm taking them out one by one, focusing on what I got to get to, how I'm going to execute my moves. And, it's pretty great when you got somebody who's, made 6 World Olympic teams in a row and won 6 World Olympic gold medals, in a row. So it's great having a coach like that. And Chris Perry is a great coach in my corner too,
That's another thing I wanted to touch on is your relationship with the staff over there at Oklahoma State. You've only been there for about a year now, or even less than. When did you get there at Oklahoma State?
We were supposed to get here like in June, July, but because of COVID, it got kind of pushed back. I think it's for everybody, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like it's been over a year for sure. But even though it hasn't, I mean, we just set it off so great. Just because I've been going up with these dudes, doing camps, coming down doing camps back in Allen, him, Coach Perry, Tyler Caldwell, all those dudes, you can see pictures of whenever we were younger, them running camps. So I always looked up to those dudes, and idolized them. Now, to be doing what they're doing, and just do it, as a true freshman, it's just great. And I think it's awesome for the team, for people to see, like, not only as an individual, but we're bringing back, a team trophy this year, getting third, and we're going to come back next year and really, go after first place. I think we have a good shot,
For sure.
a lot of our guys coming back, and a lot of our young guys stepping up. So it's going to be the biggest thing, I was saying, is going to be our young guys, stepping up, saying, like what I would say is using the mentality that we have to our advantage. That I always say is, we have everything to gain and nothing to lose. A lot of these seniors, they got a lot to lose. This is our last chance. For me, man, it's my first one. Go out there, wrestle. Be offensive, and have fun. Most importantly, so I tell those guys that, and that's the mentality I'm going to use for Olympic trials too. These dudes, they get beat by me. They got a lot to lose. For me, I got nothing to lose. I'm going out there as the mentality that just have fun and take them out. Let's do it. And my coaches love it, and everybody here loves it, and we're just going to keep the train rolling.
It's really cool to be able to see that too. It's just because, normally in terms of leadership, that normally comes from the older guys, the guys who have been there for a while. But I feel like you've almost taken a role of leadership in your first year at Oklahoma State. Where does that come from? Obviously, you're the oldest of 3 brothers. Is that where it develops, and how are you able to use that on that wrestling team?
I think that's a lot of it. I think being a leader in my family, being the oldest boy in a strong, Italian old school household, I think being a leader, anytime we're out in public or anytime anything goes on, that's huge too. But I've always tried to be a leader, just that could just come from, in the Bible, being strong in your faith and being strong in who you are, not changing who you are just because of the world, because it's a new, generation, So I'm going to stay true and truthful to who I am, and that's not going to change. And I feel like, a lot of people see me online and stuff, but I do have a big personality, but Another thing too is that like I work very hard and then I have a very confident, like positive based mentality that's contagious. I was saying this to
Right.
my Coach Perry's hand. There's no doubt that I'm going to win all these matches. 0% doubt, and that's the level of confidence that is contagious, and you can feel it, and it affects the way you perform. So we have that confidence in the room too. I mean, it's awesome. I've really been a big leader as a freshman for the upper weights. I think for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just telling guys, even though we haven't done some things in upper weights that we're coming, and I told them, and now they're seeing it and they're believing it. Because one thing to say thing as a true freshman, coming in. I mean, you could say a lot of things. A lot of people who say I'm gonna be an NCAA champion. You know what I mean? Even number
Right.
one, number two recruits, but they don't turn out to be nothing. So it's all about the hard work, all about reaping what you're sowing. And I tell these dudes that, and they're seeing all the extra weightlifting I'm doing, all the extra stuff I've been doing off seasons paying off. And Dayton Fix is a good example of that as too. On the bottom side, he's been being more vocal lately too, because he's usually just the type of dude that just puts his head down and just goes to work. He's a freaking
Right.
horse. Now he's being more vocal for the lower weights. Really showing those guys that they need to step up. These younger guys, and they can do this. We can do this as a team. If we want to win team titles, it really has to be a team effort. As you saw this weekend, we had one champ and one runner up, and we got third, and we weren't too far behind. So, just like the thing with Iowa, Penn State had 4 champs. If you think about it, that team aspect of everything is huge. And having that team, it's a brotherhood already, but the team aspect is just great as well. It just makes it so much great to have these relationships with these guys, that are going to last a lifetime, and that's part of the reason that I really picked up Home State, because I felt like these dudes, are real dudes that can have my back, almost like in high school comparison is to like Bergen Catholic, that's like, that's the one school that I can say can compare to it. Honestly, nowhere else can even come close, but yeah.
Well, that's really cool to hear that you're able to feel that, and it's exciting to see Oklahoma State back on the rise, because they've been a program that's been obviously the best in history, with 33 titles,
34, right?
but 34,
34,
yeah. So
looking for number 35. So
yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm excited to see some more teams getting in this team race, and it's really good for the sport to have people from all over start to get really good, and it's no longer just Penn State and Iowa. But the last thing I really wanted to touch on was kind of the personality that you set up on outside in your interviews, on social media and stuff. And I understand, that's just a great angle to come from. You're going to develop a lot of haters from it, and you already have.
Right.
But something I noticed just through social media and looking to see what people say this last weekend is like all the people that were hating on you a couple months ago, we're all like kind of jumping on your bandwagon this weekend. And I think it's a really good approach that you have a really flamboyant, I guess is the word, personality, and it draws in a lot of attention. I think it's really, really cool. Is that something that you've planned, or is that just come naturally?
No, it's just who I am. I mean, if you were to know me from a young age, you'd know the same way. Like, I'm just like that. I really don't, honestly, to all the haters and everybody, I really don't care that much. And I've never really been a shy guy, I'm going to be who I am, whatever it is, even with, everything in life. When it comes to school, when it comes to girls, I'm not shy, and I just name who I am, so that's just the way I grew up, and that's just me being strong and who I am. My dad grew me up being like strong, and like I'm Italian American, I'm like carrying myself like a certain way with confidence, it's the way I am, and that's just the way, I was built. Whenever you have like proper preparation, whenever you have really strong faith in God, whenever you do the right things, people can see that as, cockiness, but for me, it's just confidence, because I put in so much work, and these dudes don't understand it because they've never had to work like something like this in their whole life. It's been 15 years that I've been on doing this, since I was 4 years old, I've been wrestling. So it's a lot of work, and just for it to pay off, it was great, whenever, people wanted me to celebrate after my finals match, but like, I was just so emotional, I couldn't really celebrate, so it was just such a big moment. But no, like, that's just who I am. Like, if people understand, like, people who have like this natural, like people, same thing with like Conor McGregor naturally has that big personality.
Right.
There's people that try to fake it all the time in the UFC, and tell big time. But the people that naturally do it, people are saying this already, like it's really good for the sport, for me to,
Yeah.
because people say I'm like trying to hype it up, but like everything I do is just like that. It's just like my lifestyle. Like if you were to ask somebody who hangs out with me, that's just my personality and that's just who I am,
And
So,
I can see it. Yeah. How's that deadlift coming along?
It's coming along good. Actually, I lifted yesterday.
Yeah.
I was just doing reps. I was doing 500 for sets of 12, but I got to get my legs bigger. Yeah, legs is where you're gonna get all the weight. I'm going 97 kilograms. So I'm just seeing how my body's reacting right now. I've been kind of shrunk down for 197, but I put on muscle mass pretty easy. So I think I'll be able to do it. I was doing like leg presses 4 sets of 12 at 500, just reps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing leg press, like 5 sets of 20 with 1,000 pounds. So I was doing some heavy leg work. That's where most of the weight will be gained, though.
Yeah.
So,
how big do you think you can get? How big have you been able to get for this?
I've been able to get to 225, but
Okay.
I'm obviously not there yet, just because I just started. I mean, I literally just wrestled, made 3 days in a row at the NCAAs. So, I mean, I don't know. I put on muscle mass really easy, and I also get very lean very easily. So it just depends on how I want my body to react. So,
And next year the plan is heavyweight.
I mean, obviously that's the plan. That'd be great. I don't like really sucking down to 197 for this long.
Yeah.
I could always try one. The biggest thing with heavyweight, the main reason I honestly I didn't go heavyweight was just for safety reasons. I mean, whenever you're 225, 230, because I'm so lean, I eat 5,000 calories a day and I still have like a 6-pack. It's just hard for me to put on just hold on to that much muscle mass while wrestling. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Like playing football would be way easier because you're just doing sprints. It's explosive. Wrestling is cardio based. So that's why it's such a hard sport to maintain lean muscle mass. But anyway, the biggest thing is just like if I wrestle someone who's like 265, 270 or more, like the chances if they fall on me, next thing you know, I'm out for a while. So that's why I really just have to focus on, keeping my little muscle strong, doing rehab and just, being smart with everything. So, I mean, either way, I'm not worried. And I know that with the coaching staff here, we have plenty of dudes who I go with and everything to get me where I want to be for heavyweight. So it'll be honestly a team decision and a coaching decision. So yeah, it's just whatever's best for me, they feel, and whatever's best for the team. So I mean, I could wrestle at 197 for 5 years, and I mean, it would be pretty cool to, I mean, if I did that and won 5 at 197, I mean, that really cement my legacy. I feel like being a 5-timer at 197, I mean, that'd be pretty much say I'm like one of, if not the greatest 197 pounder ever.
100%.
But at the same time, I also, want to enjoy wrestling and I don't know, I like lifting, and wrestling 197 is hard for me to lift the same way and only lift, you know what I mean? So, and have the frame to, put on that much weight,
Mm-hmm.
So I might not be the tallest. I'm only 6 foot, but I have a very long reach and very long arms, long legs. So it's a good frame to put on, weight.
Yeah, it's really exciting to hear, and I'm pumped for your next competition. You're a lot of fun to watch. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man.
100%. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Dude,
all right, that's AJ Ferrari.
You know what? I will say this. He's different than I expected, actually.
Yeah, you think? He's
yeah,
way different than what I expected as well.
A lot more low energy, I will say. But he was really cool. It was cool to see how introspective he was, right? And he's not just this huge flamboyant personality all the time, right? And that's one of the coolest things about how humans are, right? How we're created is there's multiple different sides to us. And so while, the side that ESPN sees and the side that, 90% of the wrestling community sees is this, this kid who wrestles on his knees and then just does these super athletic stuff and crazy flexes and all these celebrations and gives these awesome interviews. And then, he can come and just be a lot more I already said introspective, so I don't even know if there's a better word for it. But
that's the word. I think you nailed it.
Right. And it's cool how much, listening to his interviews and stuff is he's concerned with his image, but not for the reasons, I in my eyes, not for any really bad reasons, right? Like he said, he's holding, he wants to be true to himself and to who he is, right? He wants to be a strong man.
Right.
And, so, and for stuff like that, and in addition, like he was talking about seeing himself, seeing like all this talk on the internet about him and like using that to motivate him. So
Right.
again, he's concerned with his image, but he uses it to fuel, really his development, I guess you could say.
I'll tell you what though, like
Tell me what, Sam.
that because as we're both wrestlers, want to be as good as he is one day. He's a true freshman national champ, right? That's goals that we have for ourselves. So for somebody like that who we can look up to and watch, he's got a lot of stuff that we can learn from. And it's really cool to watch that. So, yeah, I
will
really
say this: I cannot wrestle like AJ Ferrari.
Right,
he's a lot more athletic than I am.
Yeah, he is. He's more athletic than everybody he wrestles. What do you think about him saying 97 kg for Olympic team trials? How do you think he does?
So, since he already qualified, this is actually interesting. I was just looking at like the last chance like registration list yesterday, and I texted you. I'm like, dude, this is a meat grinder.
Yeah.
So this is huge for a guy like Ferrari to complete. He gets a free bid in. Like he doesn't have to worry about that meat grinder of a tournament. Like
the NCAA championships is a meat grinder as well.
Right, but it's to a different level. You know, like arguably the best guy he wrestled in the bracket was Amin. 6th year senior, super
Olympic
hardened veteran, right? Yeah, Olympic qualifier. I'm looking at the bracket over here. That's why I keep glancing over. Whereas, like 97, you're going to be wrestling not only huge people, but also like senior level, like big athletes.
Yeah.
And do we have a kind of idea of who's qualified at 97?
I think you got obviously Snyder and Cox. I think Hayden Zilmer's there. Kyvan Gadsden's there. Guys like that who will be just
Mike Mock.
Yeah, those guys will be big challenges for him. But you know what? I could see him like it'd be a huge accomplishment, but I could see him at about third in that weight behind Snyder and Cox. And look, I said this
Zilmer. Zilmer's pretty tough.
I know. I think he can still beat him. His style is perfect for Zilmer. I mean, Zilmer wouldn't. It'd be so hard for him to score off his underhook.
AJ Ferrari's hard to score on. Here's one of the things, though, that I don't know how well. I mean, I don't suppose it's gonna hurt, but AJ Ferrari rode everybody. I'm pretty sure. Like on top, he is such a gamer, and like every time Bonacorsi came up to his feet, every time Amin came up to his feet, he pushed him right until 3 feet from the edge, then dropped to a leg, ran him out of bounds. So I mean, I don't know how well that would transfer towards like parterre offense, because like if you think he's gonna get third, like he's got to go not only get takedowns, but he's got to get turns on these senior level guys too.
Right.
So
it'd be really, really hard.
Yeah, I mean that's hard, but now the question is, so how much is? Oh, where'd you go? I
had to sneeze.
You can sneeze on air.
Yeah, just right through the microphone. All right.
The secret is Sam has a little baby kitten sneeze, and he's scared for it to.
No. No.
What was I going to say? How much is 97 kg? Let me look it up.
It's 213 pounds.
Jeez. So how much do you think he's going to be like sized for that?
He's gonna be very undersized. He said he could get up to 25, but that's like
big AJ Ferrari.
That's
it's like
AJ
fatso.
Ferrari.
That's like
Well,
Christmas
he
Day.
He said that. He said he gets up to 25 and stuff.
You can get a little cushioning.
It's all that deadlifting. But I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, AJ Ferrari, if he wrestles Cox or Snyder, he will get one takedown that
on Cox. On Cox.
Yeah, he will get one takedown. He'll get a takedown.
Bad take, Sam Herring.
I'm predicting it right now. He's getting a takedown.
When was the last time Cox was taken down? Did Nate Jackson take him down?
I have no idea.
Dude, now I got to find this out. Let me see. Nate Jackson, Jaden Cox. Hey, got anyone in the chat, tell us who was the last person to take Jaden Cox down.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that. Here, we'll put that in the. Who was the last person to take Jaden Cox down?
I have a feeling I think that Jackson got a takedown.
There we go. See. He might have. I mean, I think AJ Ferrari will take Snyder or Cox down. Whoever he gets, he'll take him down. And everybody's going to go nuts. It's good. I'm predicting it right now.
I don't think he did. I think Jackson lost. Yeah, he lost 6-1, I think. Yep.
Okay. Well,
so it might be years now since Jaden Cox has been taken down in a live freestyle competition. I don't think his next takedown is gonna come from
AJ Ferrari.
True freshman AJ Ferrari. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Ed Santiago thinks the same thing. Look at this.
Now,
not good. Y'all gotta believe.
I will say, I think it's more likely that he'll take down Snyder, but I don't think he can sustain any sort of a lead on Kyle Snyder.
No, he's not. He's gonna get killed by Snyder.
Yeah, I think Snyder's a bad matchup for him because his athleticism isn't really gonna have a big effect in that matchup. Like Snyder is she's too solid.
Yeah,
like he'll just once he like AJ's gonna he's gonna dance around a little bit. He's gonna go in a circle, and then as soon as Snyder grabs him, puts his hands on him, pulls him down to his knees.
Hey, AJ. I mean, he's obviously he grabbed Miles Amin and manhandled him.
Yeah, but Miles Amin's
strength-wise, so Miles Amin
the greater than
strength-wise, Miles Amin's is up there with the best of them.
But Kyle Snyder, Captain America.
Snyder. But I'm just saying, I think Ferrari's not going to get just bullied by Snyder strength-wise. All right, we lost him.
Sam, you're saying the man who defeated the Russian.
Yeah.
You think he's going to get manhandled by AJ Ferrari?
Say that. I'm just saying.
Is that what you're saying?
His strength. AJ can hang with Kyle as far as strength goes. He's going to get teched.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I think he can get a takedown, which would be. I'm just saying everybody would go nuts.
Hey, remember the guy who teched Snyder a couple years back at the Mateo Pelicone?
Yeah.
The Mohammedian, is that his name?
Yeah, that's it. Mohammedian.
Where has he gone?
Dude, I don't know.
Did he wrestle Euros?
I have no idea.
Can we get a beat on Mohammedian?
I don't know.
Mohammedian wrestling Snyder. Where's he from?
He's from
Iran.
Yeah, that's it.
Iran. Iran.
Yeah,
okay. When do we have our next guest coming on?
Austin O'Connor should be coming on any minute now. I think we'll take just a couple second break and we'll be back in a second.
Oh, that was really a couple second break.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, Austin O'Connor.
Austin O'Connor, how you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Just fine. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Man, how does it feel? How does it feel to finally be up at the top?
Feels great. I've been waiting for this moment since the time I started wrestling when I was 4, and finally accomplished my dream.
Man, how long? Okay, here's a question. So you've been wrestling for since 4, right? You just said. At what point did you make your goal to be a national champion?
I mean, probably ever since I started. I mean,
really?
No. I always wanted to go to college. I know I'd end up at the University of North Carolina, but that's how things happened. And I started out young, won my first state title in Bantam State at 4. Kept winning state titles ever since. And I just knew right away I wanted to be a champ. And the best way I could show that is win it at the national level and compete in college.
No, clearly. So this, I mean, like you said, this has been a long time coming for you. Was this, this tournament, like this NCAA championship, at what point did you know like you were gonna win it? Or like, Sam, what are you doing? You playing with all the layouts?
Yeah.
What was the point where you're like, this is it, I have it, I got it, it's mine?
I don't know. I guess there's never really a point, you could say. Ever since coming into college, I knew I had the opportunity to where I could. So I surrounded myself with the best coaching staff I could, best teammates I could. And, I mean, as long as I stayed on my training, I knew it would eventually happen. But I just got to stay focused and it'll eventually come.
For sure. So you've been in North Carolina for the last couple of years, kind of an up-and-coming program with Coach Scott. Coach Ramos has been over there, and you've just been a staple in that program, the face of it. What's that been like, being just the representative of North Carolina right now and really helping them be on the rise right now?
It feels great. I mean, ever since I came here, I mean, that's what I look to do. I kind of wanted to come to a program that wasn't completely established yet. I kind of seen an opportunity to where I could do that and also get the best coaching staff in the country. Coleman Scott was putting together a great program, and I knew I could be the first athlete he had to be able to win him a national championship and continue growing the program.
For sure. So going into the national tournament, you came in kind of underrated, and I think that's kind of the trend with ACC guys. Like pretty much anybody outside of the Big Ten is always going to be underrated. Did you feel any, I guess, freedom? Was that better than being the guy? Like whenever you go to the ACC championships, you've got a lot of pressure and people expect you to win. But at the NCAAs, Sammy Sasso is the big guy. Did that feel better, or do you like being the guy, the favorite guy?
Yeah, I've talked about this in a few of my interviews, and I've always said that I like being kind of the underdog. I mean, it feels good to have a target on your back and everyone want to come after you, but just a little bit sweeter when you're underranked or whatever, and you just prove everyone wrong and take down these top guys and earn that spot and show why you should be in that number one spot.
Sorry to, this is kind of a, I guess, like a tangential question, but how many allocations did the ACC get at your weight?
3. I think we were close on getting that 4th for a wild card, but we only had 3 going into the tournament.
Right, because I remember that ACC got like burned for allocations. Like, even didn't like 65 only have like 2 guys?
Yeah, I think,
or 65, yeah. Something like that, man. Geez, I'm sorry. That's tough. So, going through your NCAA, your bracket here, your semifinals match, Brock Mahler, he's a tough guy. I know you wrestled him some years ago. What was your game plan going into this semifinal match, and how did you prepare for it?
Yeah, like you said, I've wrestled him before. First time we wrestled, I kind of felt like he didn't do much. He's a tough hand fighter. But I didn't really go after a score. And I know it was wrestlebacks and we both were coming off losses and everything. But in the semis, I feel like he gave me a little bit more. Still not really attacking as much as most people. He's kind of a little bit of a defensive wrestler. He's great hips. As you've probably seen in the match, it was hard for me to score on my doubles. I got in deep a few times and I just kind of hipped in and brought us straight up. But yeah, going into that match, I knew I just got to stay disciplined, solid in my stance, kind of just let the wrestling take over. And I knew he wasn't going to be able to score on me, and it was just a matter of when I was going to find my score. And I mean, I was trying to get him a little bit tired and knew it would finally come in second and third, and that match ended up going into overtime. So, yeah.
Jeez.
What's next for you? You looking at the Olympic trials possibly, or stay focused on focus out right now?
I'm probably gonna go to the World Team Trials in I think September or October. Olympic trials came up a little bit quick. I don't think I could have got my weight under control in terms of that. I've never made 143 pounds before, so that would have been a really difficult challenge for me.
Going 65?
Yeah.
65 kg?
Yeah.
World Team Trials, is that going to be U23s?
Nah, I'll probably – I don't know if I'll still be young enough for U23s. If I am, I'll probably go to that and seniors, but definitely going to go for seniors.
Right. Sorry, I think I cut you off a little bit when you were talking about what you were preparing for there. But, you know, thinking ahead to the future, do you see yourself as someone who's going to stick around at this 65 kg weight and look to insert yourself in that group of, you know, senior level athletes?
Yeah, I think I'll end up going 65. Like I said, I just need to stay like disciplined with my weight. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the year, if I was going to take an Olympic register or not. I was definitely thinking about it. It was just, I just didn't like the uncertainty of the season for COVID. So, I mean, I didn't want to be doing all this training for nothing. So I talked to Coleman and I was like, hey, like, I think I got a good shot of making the Olympic team. I'd like to go 65 kg. And if I do that, I need to kind of start doing that now. And then we kind of ultimately decided that I'm going to go for my first national championship. We started having dual meets and everything was going pretty good for the most part. So we decided to stick with it and just get my first national championship out of the way first.
How big do you get?
I get pretty big.
Do you?
Yeah, right now I'm probably a little bit over 70 already. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But
how is making it 3 days for the NCAA tournament?
It's not bad. Like once you get down to weight, it's fine. It was just a little bit tough bringing it down. I got a little heavy right now, but I mean, I've been off the mat just eating for the last few days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, next week when I'm back on the mat, I'll start getting under control again. During off season, I don't like to bring it above, I'd say 70. I try to stick right around there. And then in season, I try not to get any heavier than like 62. Still a little bit heavy, but
yeah, 13 pounds, you know, no big deal.
Usually try to stay within 10, but I mean, it ends up being 13.
Jeez.
Is 49 still the plan for next year, or are you considering 57 at all?
I'm considering it a little bit. I think I'll probably end up sticking with 49. Kind of don't want to think about it right now for a little bit.
Probably smart. Yeah.
Have you been training at all?
I've been doing a little bit since I got back, but I haven't been on the mat. I need to take some time off the mat, I think, and just kind of rest my body. I mean, getting a little bit older, so kind of take my rest and breaks when I get them.
No, man, hear that. So let's talk about, you know, this NCAA finals match. It's like, you know, you got the number 1, number 2, Sammy Sasso. Like, talk about your anticipation for the match, you know, as someone who's been preparing for this match for, you know, years and years and years now. What were your emotions going into it? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, getting out there was just an extremely long week. We got out there on a Monday, had to do all the COVID protocol and everything. So just like nerves are high early in the week. And then to finally be in that final day just kind of made it even more long, I guess. Kind of waking up, going to weigh-ins, getting that last weigh-in out of the way felt good. And then you just have the rest of the day to just kind of think about what you're going to do, stay focused. Kind of, I guess, game plan a little bit, but I don't like thinking about it too much. I don't like to overthink things. So just kind of got a little bit of a training session in, just kind of recognized what he was good at, what I was good at, and what I was going to try to capitalize on in my match.
Now, Sammy obviously has like a very well-known style. His single leg defense is among the best. And I feel like with somebody like that, you have to be really careful with how you approach that match, because obviously you don't want to be focusing too much on the way he wrestles, but also if you walk into that match and shoot a bunch of head inside singles, you're walking into some dangerous territory. So what was your mindset going in? Were you game planning, or were you just focusing on yourself?
I mean, there's always a little bit of game planning. I just like to be aware of what my opponent's good at, especially when I'm in big matches like that. But as soon as you step on the mat, it's kind of like your game plan just thrown out. I mean, the national finals, you just got to go for it all. In the match, I didn't take a ton of shots. I kind of focused on my hand fight early on, kind of felt them out. And then third period, I was going to look into going for more shots, but I mean, my slide by presented itself, so I didn't need to force anything and get into a position where he felt just as comfortable going for a score. So
Right.
kind of slow it down and take what presents itself.
Yeah. So talk about, you go slide by to, Merkel. Was that something you felt earlier on in the match? Or was it was just there in the moment?
It was definitely just there in the moment, but I felt it earlier in the match too.
Oh,
and like I talked
so
about
both.
it. Yeah, I didn't get it in the first, but I tried, kind of slid him by a little bit. We both just kind of squared up. And I mean, to be honest, I don't think I've ever really hit a slide by. That was like definitely my first like 2 attempts in probably this college season. So
Nice.
definitely surprised me a little bit as well.
You gotta love that. Just hitting something you never hit in the NCAA finals. That's
just go for it, dude.
Yeah, like awesome. I said, I mean, just kind of waited for an opening, seeing what presented itself, and that's what was open.
So, sorry,
go
Sam.
Ahead, Jude. Go ahead.
All right. Did you think he took you down when he gets in on that leg? He grabs your ankle, you go knee over toe, and then he pops you up, and he has your legs figure forward. You think that was two? No two?
Nah, so I talked about this a little bit. I've gotten this position in my 3rd and 4th place match against Fine Silver, and he was even probably a little bit more deep on the shot than Sammy was. Sammy just kind of had my toe on the other side. A lot of people think he was around my ankle, but I mean, he just grabbed onto my foot. I grabbed his hand. I kept wrestling through the position. I mean, there's reaction time, so I obviously got my knee over it, and I mean, how we ended up, there was no control whatsoever. He wasn't behind me or anything. I know a lot of people argue that I was on my butt, but I mean, I was still wrestling through it, didn't stop the action, and there was no two. I felt pretty confident when they were challenging it.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like when they did come back on the mat and say no two? You ran up and hugged Coach Scott. I'm sorry, Coach Scott. And what was that like? What was that feeling? Have you ever felt that before in any other victory that you've had?
No, that was definitely the biggest. I mean, even from his reaction, he almost jumped over our other coach, Gary.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
There's a lot of excitement behind it. I mean, first one to win a national championship in program histories for 25 years, 26 years, I think. So, I mean, there's a lot of motion going on, and it was just exciting to finally be there and get the job done.
Talk about your relationship with your coaches. Obviously they were super like overjoyed to see you finally, get it done. It's clear they care a lot about you. What's your relationship like with the coaches there at UNC?
Ever since I got here, I've loved the coaching staff. We got rid of a few coaches, Neil and Bryce. Even the coaches we picked up filled their place just as well, maybe even better for the time. I mean, just so I've gotten a bunch of different coaching perspectives, different styles. We had a bunch of Oklahoma State guys. We had Iowa. We got Jamil, who's been all over.
Yeah.
There's not one style the same, and that's helped me build in my wrestling. Just figuring out different positions, seeing it from completely different perspectives of how they would finish. And then ultimately I just added to my style and kind of built like a unique style off of it, and helped me win that.
Hmm. And so looking forward for the growth of UNC, what are you guys, hoping to achieve here in the next 5-10 years?
I mean, we definitely want to be number one program in the nation. We're working towards that. Not our best finish this year, but I mean, we're close to having 3-4 other All-Americans that were right there, and they might have not have got it done this year, but we're gonna have a bunch of young guys back next year. I guess a little bit older now, but we're gonna have a tough lineup next year. Kind of looking to add to it. We got some guys coming in like Lachlan McNeil, who's one of the best in the country. We had Sonny Santiago, who he was number one coming out of high school in the country. So, I mean, we're still building. We're going to be there in the next few years, and hopefully we're the champs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for you, and it's cool to see, a program like just like diversified programs like up there on the top of the podium, right? Like that's awesome. That's good for the sport. And it helps the fan base grow, right? Like when it's Iowa and it's Penn State, it's Oklahoma State, it's all these big schools at the top of the podium year after year after year. Like, yeah, that's good for those fan bases, but like, to have UNC finally get a champ, like that's awesome for Chapel Hill and for the school's wrestling program and, for the fans of that sport. So, it's good to see.
Like you were talking about earlier too. I mean, the ACC is on the rise. We put multiple people in the finals, had multiple people win it in the last few years with Mekhi Lewis, Nami. So, I mean, we're definitely going to see a change on the teams that are up there in the top 5. And I think there's a lot of good things coming from the ACC, and it's just going to continue to grow.
I agree.
For sure. It's going to be really fun to watch all the teams on the rise right now. We were talking to AJ Ferrari earlier, and, Oklahoma State had a great tournament last weekend. Teams like that just coming from – obviously Oklahoma State is a traditional program, but right now they've been in a drought for a while. And it's fun to see teams that are not Penn State and Iowa that are really competing and having battles. And, I would argue that the ACC was the most entertaining this year in their duels and the tournaments there. And I think being able to grow that fan base is incredible because you're going to get North Carolina fans, you're going to get North Carolina State, Duke, teams like that have fans from other sports come in and watch wrestling because it's so big in the ACC. It's really encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm happy to see that. I got to see you, I think it was last year in your duel against Little Rock.
Yeah.
I was out there and just getting to see because Coach Neal was out there that was developed from North Carolina. And, I love new programs on the rise, and Little Rock is obviously one of those big ones. So,
yeah, I'm happy for Neal getting his first NCAA qualifier this year.
That was huge.
I know the kid was real close to All-Americaning, but did a great job, and happy to see it for Neal.
100%. And I know it'll be soon where he's going to get his first All-American, the national champion, and maybe one day a team title. So it's exciting. That's for sure.
Yeah. Austin, looking forward to your future, what are some goals you have, personal goals, both on and off the mat?
On the mat, I mean, I want to keep continuing winning national titles. I got the first one done. But not only that, I'm looking forward to getting team titles as well. We got a bunch of competitors in our practice room and a bunch of kids that could get on the podium or even win it. We had All-American Zach Sherman. We train all the time, and hopefully next year I can get him even higher in the finals with me again. And then off the mat, I mean, just stay on top of my schoolwork. I go to a great university. We got great academics out here. That's one of the things I loved about coming to UNC. On top of being an athlete, I'm also a student, so keep growing in my schoolwork too. And
All right, well, that sounds awesome. I appreciate your time coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you, and wish you the best of luck when you compete in freestyle this summer and moving forward. So,
Good to hear from you,
again,
Connor.
appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Yep. All righty. All right, that was Austin O'Connor. Switch this view here.
Oh, mixing it up. Sam, what do you say we take a brief little break? And what? Hey, I like how it is now. Okay, no need to keep flipping it about.
I like flipping it around. It kind of annoys you sometimes too.
Sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna get motion sickness.
Okay, I'm done.
Let's take a little break. We'll be back here, and the fun's gonna continue.
All right, we'll keep this stream running though, and
don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a little bit. Hopefully, we got Nick Lee coming on next, and then we'll have as many Penn State guys as possible at that time. All right.
I was just
Dancing away.
vibing to that music. Jeez,
Great music, isn't it?
that stuff was awesome. We're back.
We are back.
We had a nice little break. Sam, did you get something to eat?
Got some oatmeal.
I had some of these whole natural cashews, unsalted, unroasted. It's my
So
snack when I cut weight. I will say this. I didn't know how bad I was cutting weight until I actually got someone to like tell me how to manage my diet even better.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable. And like I always did a pretty good job. Like I always did a good job. Like, I drank a whole lot of water, I ate pretty okay. But, we one of our friends is a dietitian. She's like, listen, stop eating salt, a lot more vegetables. And so like I like have this diet plan now, and it involves a lot of spinach and grilled chicken and eggs and things like that. But like the sodium is the big one because it just retains all that water.
All the
like,
water. Exactly.
Listen, I eat so much more and weigh so much less. So it's pretty good. So we actually had a little bit of a little scheduling switch around. So instead of Roman Bravo Young coming on at 11:45, we're going to have NLWC assistant coach Eric Thompson, also known as the Golden Bear, NAIA stud. He's a 3-time Natty champ. And he's a coach at M2 Training Center, which is where I train, coincidentally. So he's going to be on here in about 8 minutes or so. Until then, we are going to discuss whatever we want to talk about. So I don't know, Sam, how's your day going?
What did you think about Austin O'Connor on? Any thoughts, takeaways from that interview?
Yeah, this is a guy who has been for so long, like kind of removed from the spotlight, ACC, like obviously he's incredibly, incredibly good, but when you're not in the Big Ten, that really hurts your public image. Really hurts your public image. I mean, the only one that I can really think of having a big, presence socially who's not in the Big Ten is Yanni, right? Like, oh, Sam just threw up a little, throwing up everything.
I had to put it up.
So it was good for us to, I'm glad that we were able to give Austin a platform that he could get up and talk about some stuff that was important to him. Because the truth is the ACC just doesn't have as big of a, following, I guess you could say.
There's the word. Good job.
Thank you. My podcasting brain is a little rusty. So sometimes it's hard. I mean, we've all been there when you're looking for the right word, except this time I'm talking for the benefit of probably millions of people right now.
Billions of people.
That's something we should talk to Coach Eric about is since he was from NAIA, like he experienced a lot of this, coming out of high school. Like coming out of high school, he was a top, number 1, number 2 recruit. Like he was a blue chip guy. And, decided to go to NAIA, and as a result, like lost a lot of that potential fame he could have had. So I think that would be interesting to talk to him about.
Did you get him the link?
I did give him the link. He'll be on shortly. I'm trying to think. Well, Sam, tell us about I don't know. Something, dude.
Tell you about something. That's
Tell
a pretty
me a story.
nice. It's a nice plaque you got behind you.
Yeah, actually, this is a good opportunity to talk about it. So, at Gut Wrench CNC on Twitter has made us these lovely Home Advantage solid wood plaques. You can't see it because of the stinking lighting, but it's beautifully crafted. I love it. Right. So I had been rocking with the Kyle Snyder photo in the background, but now that I have this Home Advantage plaque, I'm actually I'm switching it, putting this one up.
You should put both up.
So the issue is like I don't have a lot of wall space, so I can't really. Like I guess I could put this one here.
Up higher.
I don't have a lot of camera space either. I pushed the nail in a little bit. This is good radio.
Yeah.
Okay. So I I mean, I guess I could put it up there, but I think it
Yeah,
works well
good
as it is. Sam, you know what we should do? We should actually cut up the interviews and like just
Yeah.
with the interview part
That's what I'm gonna do.
on the podcast and stuff, so no one has to really listen to this.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
In between period, that's really bad.
We're gonna publish like 6 different interviews because I'm just gonna post each interview individually. They're short, so shouldn't take long. And then I might do
And
one.
we're gonna make that good Rockfin money right there.
Yeah. And then I might do one of them that's just all the interviews edited together without us.
So let's talk about a couple things. First off is happy anniversary, Sam. Our 2-year anniversary was last week. 2 years since the start of the Home Advantage podcast. Sam,
do you remember that first one we did?
I remember
right
like it was 2 years
I got
ago.
back from Big Tens. That was crazy.
It was terrible.
It was so bad.
It was the worst podcast we've ever done. This is a close second, but it's really bad because we were just so fresh, so raw. Like we didn't know what to say. We didn't know how scripted we should be.
Exactly.
I think even now we're a little like maybe too scripted, maybe too like podcasty. I don't know.
I think we're fine. But I mean, you tell us what we've done in the last 2 years. Like if you came back to me and told me like that day when we started in March 19th, I think it was. If you told me like we win Journalist of the Year, we'd go to Final X, commentate at the Southern Scuffle again, who's number 1, Super 32, and being able to cover the events that we've covered and meet the names. I mean, seriously, we just got off with 2 NCAA champions right there, and
and 3 more coming, 4 more coming, hopefully.
Got to talk with Jordan Burroughs all weekend last weekend, and
I wish I was on for that, but
that
I
was
didn't
so
have the
cool.
energy.
So,
unbelievable. The interesting thing is, this is funny. I don't think I've even told you this. So you say like if someone had told me like, like in a year you're gonna be Journalist of the Year, like when we first met Tony. And like this, like it really started to pick up off the ground.
Yeah.
I kind of was like daydreaming about like, yeah, we're gonna get invited to Flow Wrestling, and they're gonna take us on a tour all through Flow, and like because we're gonna be the big guys. I took it to a whole nother level. Oh my gosh! And I do remember like laying in my bed, like giddy about this podcast.
Oh boy!
But the hilarious thing is that we were like down here. But my like expectations were like up here.
Mm-hmm.
Not good, dude.
We've come a long way though, and I think, especially
I don't think we have. I think we're actually getting worse.
You think so?
Yeah.
This summer is gonna be fun though. I think we're gonna be able to put a lot of content out, starting to learn how to do some of these things, and getting better at some of the reaching out to people, setting everything up, and doing projects and stuff. Learning a lot right now, so I think we'll be good.
No, I think like the sky's the limit with the podcast.
Dude, let's do this. Ed Santiago said behind the Big Ten, rank the conferences.
Okay.
Talking this year.
Oh, this year? Well,
yeah.
I was thinking overall, like I'm a big fan of the Ivy League. I think that they're really starting to put out like some really big
games. Not a conference, Jude. Try again. Come back.
Okay, so we're gonna go in terms of what, like just favorites?
No, like how good they are.
Okay, in terms of favorites, I'm gonna go Big Ten, and then
get off. All right, try again. Come, you're back.
I choked.
In terms of how good they are.
In terms of how good they are, well, it's Big Ten, and then what would you say next? I think ACC's on the up and coming.
ACC Big 12 is huge right now, especially up with Okie State. Pac-12 is getting. So you got the Ivy League one, which is it's the when you said Ivy League, now you made me forget it. What is it, Jude?
I don't know. I'm trying to email a link.
ACC. Dyson says ACC is 2. So.
Is ACC number 2?
I I'd say so. They've got NC State, North Carolina, Big 12 3. Or is it Big
EIWA
1, 2,
4.
3? Dyson, clarify for us. Are you saying Big 12 is in third place, or are you saying Big 1, 2, 3?
No one's gonna listen to this. We're so unprofessional.
EIWA is the conference I'm thinking of. All right, that's good.
So frustrating. Why is the link not?
Jude, focus.
All right, we're going to a break. Put it on a break, Sam Herring. When we come back, Eric Thompson.
And then we're going to talk about the conferences with him for a little bit. All right. It's break time. All right.
We're here with Coach Eric Thompson. How are you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're just making our way through this NCAA Champions Marathon. Had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, but we're glad you could be on here short notice. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad I could get scheduled in between those guys. I didn't win any NCAA titles. I got a couple of NAIA ones.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were actually talking to Austin O'Connor about how, the ACC is having, because they're not the Big Ten, they're not getting this sort of spotlight. I mean, Austin O'Connor is a guy who, third at the NCAA championship as a redshirt freshman, right? And then, takes it COVID year, right? And then comes back and now he's a national champ. And still, not a lot of people know who this guy is. Not a lot of people know this guy's story. And so we were, remarking about how you, as someone who wrestled in NAIA, you probably experienced some of this stuff. Is this something you think about?
I mean, I don't know if I think about it so much, because.
Do you lay in bed and just get really angry about it? You're like,
why didn't I finish? No, I mean, at times it was kind of frustrating because you get there's guys that beat that All-American and guys I beat that did good things, in the NCAA season, right? And then post-collegiate career, I beat some guys. But, I mean, at the time, you're just kind of going and you're kind of thinking, man, I could beat this guy or beat that guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think I was probably more upset about it at the time. When you're in college, you get mad if you don't get the sort of recognition you think, or I don't know if I was ever mad, but I was like, well, I just want to go wrestle at this, or I want to go wrestle at that. And it's like, well, it's all right. I had fun though. We had fun. We freaking killed it when I was in college and our team was good and we had a good time.
No, it's good to see. And, NAIA is, slowly coming up and being more recognized. What do you think the next step is for the NAIA in order to get some more of this, I don't know, social presence, I guess you could say?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a better job of it, but I think you'll forever have that kind of gap of what people are interested in, right? I watch the NAIA tournament every year, but I mean, I bet there's few and far in between guys who are glued to the tournament for Division I that watch NAIA.
Right.
And it goes the same for D2 and D3. You just don't have the fanfare always. But I mean, I think we keep going in the trend we're going, and we lose programs. I don't know what will happen, right? But hopefully NAI keeps adding programs and giving kids opportunities. It's a little bit different model, right? As far as when I was I have 65 kids on the team.
Wow.
Kids that's a lot. Yeah, so it's a lot to manage, but it's also, how many of those kids maybe wouldn't have went to college or maybe wouldn't have had that opportunity had they not, gone and decided to wrestle at, a smaller division, and I feel bad sometimes for the kids in PA because it only seems like sometimes that, they don't have the opportunity to go wrestle NAI because it's more of a Midwest thing. Yeah.
Right. Now, here's another question. Do you ever get tired of every time you're on any podcast, people just ask you about NAIA?
So I remember I beat Tony Nelson at the trials, and that was like the first question they asked me, and like my adrenaline was high, and I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, who cares?"
It's just like, oh, Eric Thompson, big name, NAIA. Like, that's what else are you going to talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it did get frustrating at times. Whatever. It's good something that people like to hear about that I did or my experiences. So it's fine. And I'm proud of like Grandview, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're freaking awesome, and I'm proud to be an alumni of there. So
yeah, and I mean, and it's good that we can, you have a platform, right? And we can give you a platform to talk about this and, hopefully bring NAIA more into the limelight.
No, he has a podcast too, doesn't he? Don't you have a podcast now?
He's got the Rockfin show.
The Rockfin?
We haven't done that
Talk about that.
We need to. We've been, trying to get ready for the trials and then doing some other stuff. And it's just like, you get so busy and get caught up with NCAAs and stuff that we haven't had time to do. But we do need to do it. We need to do some NAI stuff. I know because Coach McKnight always kind of asked me about it, and I haven't really. We've talked about it a few times, but I'll have to talk about it more for sure.
So like you said, you have this Golden Bear Marky Mark show. It's a draft show. It's on Rockfin. That
will never reach the level of Home Advantage. At no point.
Yeah, if you ever need a big name to come on and get you some viewers, maybe you can give Sam or I a call. We'd be more than happy to come and draft something for you.
Call sharing.
We'll see what we can do. Get you guys off. I know.
It probably just looks like we're just punching down on the Golden Bear and Marky Mark show, right? So funny. We just get you on their podcast just to like punch down.
It's not good. I mean, we only have 15 subscribers on our Rockfin page. So
we have like 100. Oh man.
Hey, I mean, but you guys are like on social media and stuff, and we could probably do a better job of promoting it. But yeah, I mean, we need to do more of it because it was a lot of fun and it's enjoyable to do. So we'd love to get one of you guys on there. Get both of you guys on.
No. Both of us at the same time. I don't think you guys need to be ready for that.
You guys get to draft one class together.
Okay, we have to draft top homeschool subjects.
Okay.
PE, right?
Yeah.
Homeschool PE is wild.
PE.
Let me tell you.
It gets crazy.
Coach Eric, so you have children. Have you ever considered homeschooling?
I mean, me personally, sitting at home with my kids and homeschooling them seems I'm a teacher, so it makes more sense.
Right.
No, I would never consider that because I don't have the patience for it.
Did I poison the well for you? Did I soil your
He's like,
experience?
homeschool kids end up like Jude? No.
Yikes.
I don't want my kids like that.
No, it's nothing like that. I mean, I think homeschooling is good, especially, I think it has its advantages and disadvantages, and same thing with the public school situation and the same thing with the private school situation. It has its levels of positives and negatives, pros and cons. So I don't know. I think if it was an option for us, we'd probably think about it, but just not really an option. My wife's got to.
And I mean, I like that you gave just such a perfect politician answer there. You're like, yeah, well, there's good things and bad things, just like there are with other good things and bad things. We're not, and then you just move on. You're not even talk about it. Well, I know when I have children, they're not being homeschooled. I'm not raising any nerds. They are not.
You said that about homeschool kids.
Dude, my dad, every night he comes home, he's like, "What's up, nerd?" He does one of these, and I'm like, ugh.
You like chicken.
Like, it's a good relationship me and my dad have, actually.
Fun. I think I would be being a fly on the wall in that situation.
Yeah, would you?
I think everybody would. That would be a lucky fly.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like there just watching Jude's dad bully him a little bit, like as like the jock and the nerd.
Well, he does, and like unironically, like I guess ironically, but like he bullies me, like when we have guests over, he's bullies me just to make himself feel good about himself that he can
start challenging him to wrestle.
Oh, he doesn't. He's already said no more wrestling. We're done. No more.
Anytime he does something, just be like, let's wrestle.
Let's wrestle. Let's go. Well, the thing is that he fights dirty. Like he has no shame. He has to, establish himself as the dominant man in the house. And so he's like, hey, if I gotta punch this kid in the face, like I guess I'm gonna do it. My dad doesn't punch me in the face. That was a joke.
Thank you for clarifying.
You've been wrestling Levi for like 4 or 5 years. You should be good.
I should be good. I remember one time. So for those who don't know, Levi Haynes, one of my good training partners, one of my friends at the M2 Training Center, recently state champion. One of the meanest drilling partners I've ever experienced ever. And he came to M2 when we were both in 8th grade. And I remember like just, I probably got taken down like 15 times in like a 6-minute go and walking off the mat and like just being so butthurt, like, oh my gosh. And Coach Mark came over and he's like, big tough farm boy, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, maybe you should do a couple pull-ups. Maybe that'll help you. And I was like, Coach, I don't need to hear this right now. But man, Levi's mean.
I love that our fix to everything is like do some pull-ups.
Do some pull-ups.
You feel kind of sick? Do some pull-ups.
I get it. Tough through it, man. And hey, speaking of Levi, he's going to be wrestling on this upcoming Rockfin card that Coach Eric has so graciously put together for us.
Okay, that was a transition, like top notch right there.
I know. Podcast brain works in different ways. Coach, what are you planning for this Sunday? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool, man. I'm pretty excited about it. We're doing like AA versus AAA. We were able to get, not every single kid we wanted because it's just a tough time with like the turnaround from the state tournament when we're doing it because we had to get it done, with a timely matter of trials or of the state tournament, but also your guys, we had to avoid like some of the dates for like for team state.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of good kids are on good teams, so they're wrestling still. So it's kind of hard, and then just figuring out weights with kids, because like the last one when I put high school matches on our last card and kind of called all the kids and figured it all out and stuff, I was able to get Coach Green at SEM, and he helped out a ton. So we wanted to keep it more PA. So I basically individually called the kids and trying to figure it out and just went down the list, state placers and stuff. But we have some really cool matches. I think the one I'm really excited about, John Altieri and Levi Haynes. I think that'll be a cool match. And then Ethan Rossman versus Wesley Barnes. Those are two guys. Ethan got 3rd in AAA and Barnes got 4th in AA. So
yeah, and we got guys like the Gibson brothers. I mean, everyone loves Mason Gibson. He's an exciting kid to watch. Eric is wrestling AJ Corrado for the 15th time. And, so it's good to see these guys, stay on the mat after so soon after the season ends. Right. And I can speak for like not only myself, but also a lot of people I know. Like it's hard to pick yourself back up, get up for these team state duels and all this stuff. Like right after the state tournament, having to make weight like 2 days later to wrestle in some dual meet, like it's hard. So it just goes to show like, how tough PA is that we're like just always willing and ready to scrap and go out and get it done. A lot tougher than Iowa, I would say. Anyone who's raised in Iowa would know that.
Classic back. Yeah.
Wow.
Just Mark constantly telling me how great PA wrestling is, which I don't disagree. But here's the one thing that Iowa dominates PA in.
What?
Our state tournament is the absolute Barnaby Brothers circus of wrestling. It's like
It's really cool.
You been there, Sam?
I've heard a lot of stories about it.
It's incredible. When I won my state title my junior year, there were 16,000 people there.
I want to
Yeah,
hear about
you
the
guys also
Indiana.
have.
I want
You
to hear
have.
about the Indiana state tournament.
I've never been. Oh, trick me.
Can you guys hear me?
What a trick! Yeah, I can hear you now.
It's Lake Knee, guys.
State tournament is slept on. It's far and away the most fun state tournament in the entire country.
How many, Nick? How many classes do you guys have? Like AA, AAA? Just one.
Wow.
Whereas Coach Eric over here had 3,
We did,
but they all wrestle at the same time, which is I think is pretty
so
cool.
3 champs means there's not a champ.
Exactly.
No.
Is that what it
Hey,
means? On Sunday at 7, are you going to tune in to King of the Keystone on Ninny Line Wrestling Club Rockfin?
I'm absolutely tuning in. I'm pretty excited about that. I hear all this stuff about like AA, AAA in the room. I have no idea what it means, but I'm excited.
How much do you
Yeah.
guys talk about
it's
double?
good that he doesn't know what it means. That's a good thing. Having just one division is the way it should be.
I agree.
It's hard.
Hey, I actually am a fan of how Virginia does it. They have 6A and then private schools. So, you know, I always I think the 2A state championship has like maybe, you know, under 30 teams competing in it for Virginia. Jeez.
Just handing out.
Yeah, they're like, here you go. You can have one. Not to
Like 10 different state champs at the
take
same
anything away from any Virginia wrestlers.
I mean,
But-
a
A
little.
little bit, yeah. Man. All right. Well, I guess we should talk to Nick Lee now. Coach Eric, do you have anything else to say? Or do you want to stay on? Do you want to stay on for this Nick Lee interview? You're more than welcome to.
I'll poke some fun at Nick Lee. Who painted your wall?
I don't know. I didn't pick the color.
Did you paint it?
I did not paint it.
You picked the color?
It's a bright red.
Is that a burning orange?
It's like a
Matches the beard.
yeah.
He actually he took a picture of his beard and then did the color matcher, and then he held it up to like the paint guy and he's like, hey, I want this color.
Dude,
And they're like, all right. Did you think so? Thanks.
eat it.
Dude, I hang out with Coach Eric all the time. It's rubbing off on me.
I can tell.
Eat it.
Oh man, it's hard being the funniest podcaster.
I'll take it easy.
Okay. Oh man. So Nick, congratulations. How does it feel?
I've been asked that question a lot.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. That's all we had for you.
I'm still trying to catch up with school, so I haven't had a chance to soak it in yet.
Well, what a boring answer. I'm sorry.
You get that a lot from me, so
Nice. Well, okay. Well, let's run through your NCAA tournament. What were you thinking leading up into it? I mean, I assume you were excited.
yeah, I mean that's definitely the most fun tournament of the year, right? And we didn't get a chance to wrestle in it last year. Oh, by the way, my audio on this computer sometimes cuts out, so just let me know if I gotta repeat something. But it's exciting tournament, and we were going with a young team, so I was especially excited to see some of our young guys compete. So, you know, I was, to be honest, I was more excited for some of those guys than I was even for myself. Like, it's just a fun tournament to go in as a team and have some fun. So yeah, it's a fun tournament.
Right. And I mean, I think it was a video of you when Carter won his title. You were going in bananas.
I was pretty pumped about that one.
Man, talk about, you know, as a team, you know, what it means to have, you know, 4 champs, you know, not back to back, but like go into the finals and walk away 4-0. Like, what does that mean for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows that our training plan is just killer right now. I mean, obviously everyone is ready to go, you know, especially whenever we get into the late stages of the tournament and you're in the finals. I think, you know, we won, was it 3 matches in overtime? I forget. Carter's went to overtime. So, I mean, that's not an accident, right? I mean, we're winning those close matches. We're ready to go. We're in good shape. So, yeah, that's not by chance or anything. And, you know, having 4 champs and still taking away a second place trophy is rough. And I think it shows that, you know, we have some other guys that have some work to do. But, I mean, there's no better way to end the tournament than win your 4 last matches in the finals. I mean, that's doesn't get much better than that.
And 2 of those were revenge wins too. So
Yeah.
there were overtime and revenge wins that, I mean, the fact that Penn State always seems to make those jumps from Big Ten to NCAAs, it shows how you guys are ready to peak every single year.
Yeah, and you know, I think just preparing properly, you know, for your opponents is an important thing. And you know, we're not really thinking about revenge or anything, but just
Right.
being prepared and improving off the last tournament is important.
How important do you think that loss you took in the Big Ten tournament was for your, I guess, development?
Yeah, I mean, that's he's a good wrestler, right? I've wrestled him before. I've wrestled him
4 times.
now. That was like
You're going to go in freestyle too, right?
that was like our 5th time wrestling, I think. Actually, I think I wrestled him as a cadet back in the day.
Whoa.
No, I know, right? And I think he pinned me in a headlock or something. So
Nice.
back in I know. But I think, you know, that's just part of the fun of wrestling, right? You get really good opponents. It turns into a chess match almost, and you got to kind of figure out, you know, where you want to wrestle your match, and just improving in small places in certain situations, and knowing that you might have to stay out of, you know, certain positions and wrestle your match in different situations. It's like I said, it's like a chess match, and I think that's what makes wrestling fun.
Now that inside trip,
Yeah.
were you channeling any Vincenzo Joseph through that, or?
I guess so. He's pretty darn good at that, right? Way better than I am. And I definitely picked up some inside trip stuff from him at like Penn State camps and stuff, which I'm not sure if we're having those, but everyone should sign up. No go.
Don't sign up. Don't try.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
If something changes, you guys should.
Yeah.
If something changes, sign up. If not, don't even dare.
Don't even try.
Hey guys, I gotta run. Sunday, 7:00. King of the Keystone.
You guys want to be like Nick Lee? Nick Lee's watching. Be like Nick Lee.
Nick Lee would wrestle on it if he grew up in Pennsylvania.
It's true.
All right.
Hopefully.
Jude.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Eric.
Grab me on. Nick Lee, I'll see you in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, see you then.
Later.
All right.
And he leaves.
Golden Bear.
Jeez. It was actually funny because we like short time had to call Coach Eric, and I'm like, hey, we need you on the podcast. But it goes to show like he doesn't actually do anything during the day, so he has plenty of free time. I hope he hears that.
He's not on right now, but
I'll let him know you said so.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for relaying that. So, interesting story about Coach Eric is I actually, so he coaches at M2, and at M2 we like to joke around with each other a little bit, and I own the M2 Meme Center, which is an Instagram meme page where I make original memes about Coach Eric. And one time, I made one. Maybe a little too mean, a little too biting comment about his lack of hair. At the time, he was a shaved head man.
Yeah, that's
not a good move. He came into practice, his entire head actually was completely red with anger, and he was not too happy about that one. So It's always you're poking the golden bear a little bit.
There's a couple coaches on our team with no hair. I think their no hair coaches are doing pretty well these days. So
yeah, I mean, it's a trend. I think
I will say so. He now has a lot more hair than he did, last summer, and wrestling with him was never fun because that shaved head's got a little sandpaper quality to it. So he just digs that head in there, and I'm like, get it off. It's weird.
I put a hand on top of it and keep it covered up. So
right. So Nick, you talked about. You walk off the mat, you go to your interview with ESPN, and you talk about, you mentioned chop wood, carry water, which Sam Herring is a huge fan of.
Carry water guy.
Probably biggest fan. Probably has a tattoo of chop wood, carry water on him somewhere.
Actually, I think this word right here, Meraki, I learned it from the book Chop Wood, Carry Water.
It's a good book. We actually, whenever we talked about it in practice, we actually, we knew it's a book, but we weren't even talking to it in relation to the book. And then, after we talked about it, I went and read the book, and it is a fantastic book. I recommend it to not just young wrestlers, but just everybody. I think it's a really good book to read. There's a very good lessons. So
you want to give us the, I guess TLDR kind of summary? Give us a book report maybe on the
full book report.
I'll leave the book reports to you guys, but I think in general, chop wood, carry water is just kind of making sure that you're falling in love with the process and enjoying the process of something and not just the goal, right? Because the goal is something that you want to achieve, but after the goal, you're going to be right back to the process. And so you need to find, you need to appreciate that and, be grateful throughout the process. Otherwise, it's easy to get kind of carried away and, sometimes you might lose some meaning. So yeah, falling in love with the process, enjoying the process, I think is a big takeaway from that.
And, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, right? To fall in love with the process. Where do you think you are in that journey? And how far have you come?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't enjoy practice some days, right? I mean, I enjoy practice pretty much every single day. I'm trying to think of, especially when I wrestle Coach Kale, because I put up a lot of points.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The size advantage you have on him is really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say where you are in that, right? I think you kind of know at the time, but I think whenever you reach a goal too, you'll be able to tell where you are because, afterwards you'll be right back to it, right? And you'll be enjoying it again. So, yeah, for me, I enjoy the day to day. So,
Yeah,
enjoying it.
Nick, what was Olympic trials? Is this in the question for you? Are you considering competing in this year in a couple weeks? Actually,
yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome.
I'll be there.
Awesome. That's exciting. So, what kind of, obviously, Olympic trials coming up short term, make the Olympic team, win Olympic gold, right? These are the short term goals. What about long term, for you on the mat and off the mat as well?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll have my undergraduate degree this semester, so from there, I'm looking at graduates options. On the mat, I'm gonna keep wrestling as long as my body lets me, right? And then I haven't really thought about coaching or anything, so I still got another year of college left, thanks to the all-powerful NCAA. So I'm gonna enjoy that and kind of take the future as it comes. So not thinking too far ahead, but definitely preparing.
Right. Sam, you got a question for Nick Lee?
What's the plan as far as weight goes? You staying? So I assume if you're going to Olympic trials, 65 is the plan, and then are you staying down to 41 for next year? As of right now, is that public information, or do you know what you want to do next year?
Yeah, I was actually going to cut down to 33 and challenge them for the spot.
Why stop there? Go 25.
Go 25.
Well, I don't know if I can beat Robert Howard though, so
tough dude.
Jeez, 4-1-1 there.
Yeah. What do you walk around at? What weight?
Probably the better one to go for.
Which weight am I better at?
No, I mean, what do you walk around at?
Depends on the day of the week, but I'm usually get up above high 40s, low 50s. 150, I would say. I can get a little bit higher than that, but once I start getting higher than that, I start to look a little fat, and I'm a little slower on that.
Dude,
so
image is everything, right? You gotta make sure you look good so you can wrestle good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be heading to the beach soon too. So
that's nice.
Hey, O'Connor came on earlier. He said he weighed he gets up to 170.
Yeah, I don't get that much over. So
no.
Yeah, that's impressive.
70's big.
Yeah. That's really big. This is such a boring topic. Who cares? Sam, change the topic. I'm like asking
Me?
silly questions about the weight. Who cares?
I think
I mean-
it's interesting to high schoolers because high schoolers tend to cut way more weight than they should.
Right.
So,
That's true.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Jude.
even this year. So last year I would walk around at 31 and then I'd go to 28, and like that was it. Like it was no weight. And as a result, like I just really focused on my wrestling. And so, I got a lot better during the season. This year, I was good through the season. And then once we hit like this year, it was 3 qualifying tournaments before. So districts, regional, super regional, states. It's 1 month. And right after districts, I started hitting a little growth spurt. And, those last couple weeks were difficult, really difficult to get that weight down. But what big difference, I guess, for the high school tournament is, this year was 1 day weigh-ins. You make weight one time, wrestle the whole tournament one day. I think that it was a game changer.
I've been trying to get them to do that with the NCAAs for a while now. They don't listen to me though.
They should.
Man, well, we got to get you on the podcast more
Nick,
often.
you think you could bump up to 184 and challenge Aaron for the spot?
I don't know if that would be a wise decision for me.
What's good, boys?
Hey, what's up, Aaron Brooks? How you doing, man?
Chilling. What y'all getting into?
Yeah, well, Nick was just talking about how he was going to go up to 84 and beat you out. So,
Bro, Nick Lee beats me. This actually isn't a joke. He beats me in the room.
I'd say my limit's at about 74. Carter gives me some fits, and then, dude, I was warming up with Robert Howard.
Robert Howard.
And dude, that dude's so good. Like he was out of the tournament, and I was drilling with him, and he was like not letting me get takedowns and stuff. I was like, dude, you're good.
Jeez. So, Nick, thanks for coming on the show. You can stick around as long as you like. We got some more Penn State guys coming on after. Aaron, congratulations, dude. How's it feel?
Bro. Feels good. Just getting ready for trials now, but it's it's a good feeling.
What weight you going for trials?
86 kg.
86.
Yeah.
Not 65.
I tried, bro. I tried my hardest. The descent plan. I wouldn't have made it in time.
Do they have they don't have a descent plan for international stuff, right?
Nah, you can do whatever you want to make weight.
I hate that. I've seen Sam sent me a video of these what was it, cadets at like 103.
It was my weight. It was 105 pounds, and the dudes looked as big as Nick.
Like they're they're huge. Like especially the kid level, they cut so much.
Yeah,
It was wild.
a lot of those kids cut heavy.
Man,
You wrestled on a cadet team, didn't you, or just junior?
Both, yeah.
Both. How were those guys? Were those guys significantly bigger when you wrestled?
So when I went to juniors the first time at 79, those guys were massive. Like, and I was big. Like I was cutting from like 188, but like some of those guys that made 79 kilos were like huge. Just their frame.
I don't know how they make the weight. I mean, it's 2 hour weigh-ins at international right now. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, those guys overseas are big.
you got to make 2 days too.
Yeah,
It's insane. And you got to
Maybe
figure
that's why
like
they
they
cut
don't.
so much.
You got to figure they don't have like diet stuff like we do either.
That's
right?
why I try to think that way, but I'm like, they have to be doing something right if he's that big making this weight class.
I guess
they're
so.
doing something right.
Starving the kid for a week. I have no idea, man.
Jeez. So Aaron, oh, sorry, Nick, you go.
I gotta go, guys, but I appreciate you having me on. It's a good podcast. Aaron, they're gonna grill you, man.
All right, man. Yeah, Nick, I'll see you in like an hour, bro.
That's the plan.
All right. Jeez. Well, it's actually funny. I was just going to bring up, we were having this discussion. Coach Eric Thompson came on just before Nick did. We were talking about how, Iowa State tournament, Indiana State tournament. How does the Maryland State tournament compare to these ones?
This Maryland State tournament's it's its own thing, but I can't compare it to Iowa and Indiana.
No, do they sell blue crabs in the concession stand?
Nah, it's like actually concession stand food's like $7 a pizza.
Sheesh.
In the arena they have it, and it's like a horse arena. Like they used to have like horse shows and stuff, but like the food's just a ripoff. No one eats. You go pack your own stuff.
Oh man, if you pack seafood?
Nah.
He loves Maryland seafood. That's just all he talks about.
Well, my dad's from Maryland too.
What part?
He's from Frostburg.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So that's where he grew up. So he's a big Aaron Brooks fan. only be not because of wrestling or anything, just Maryland. You got the Maryland connection there. So, but man, congratulations on your tournament. Like, you looked really good all the way through. You wrestled a lot of Big Ten opponents, which I found was pretty interesting. I mean, you got Webster in there and Vens.
Yeah.
But you also had some other kids from like UNI and NC State and stuff. What'd you think about that? What was your preparation like going into the tournament?
Well, actually, before the tournament, I didn't even look at the bracket. So when I
Nice.
when I got there, I just like to do that stuff all the time. So I just took it match by match, and then I think after my first match, they're like, "All right, you got Webster, Coach Casey, and them." And then they're like, "You got Vin." So mentally, I just I like to prepare for it like the day of. I don't like to think about it too much. But
Right.
looking at the brackets and stuff, I was like, man, my size, like I'm wrestling Vins. I just wrestled this guy in the Big Ten finals.
Yeah.
I'm wrestling him in the quarters, and I look over because like when you're on the mat, you see the other quarterfinals. I'm like, bro, like this is the best match right now, and it's like
Yeah.
me and Vins. Everyone else is kind of, I didn't know their opponents and whatnot, but
84 was a pretty dang deep weight. I mean, the guys in that weight were, so many hammers every time.
yeah, 57. I think 57 was the deepest.
57 was really deep too.
57 was crazy. 84, this gets some solid guys, but
Heavyweight was deep. 33 was deep. Those were the really deep ones. 25 was pretty empty.
yeah. But no, heavyweight. I'm excited for the future heavyweight.
Me too,
That's a good weight class.
for sure.
Aaron, how much do you follow other wrestling, like from other weights?
I'm actually a big fan of wrestling, so even like
How are you?
I'm just like excited to just be there and like watch my teammates, but also other guys wrestle. Like or whether I'll be like in a hotel, I'm watching matches that are going on right now. It's like, all right, I want to see how this guy did versus this guy. So like overall, I'm just a big fan of it. So I'm always watching it, whether it's my teammates or the next guy. So
Yeah. No, that's good to hear. So, man, last year, no NCAA tournament, right? Like, and you like were one of those guys who were in that short list of, being on top of the podium. What was that like, having that taken away from you? How did you, and how'd you bounce back from that going into this tournament?
well, when it all happened, it stinks, but there's not much we could have done. So at that point, I just had to accept it. I was like, listen, we got to get ready for next year. So over the pandemic and stuff, just finding ways to train. And then when that time came around again this year, I was like, it's time to do what I was supposed to do last year. So I kind of looked at it as like redemption. But yeah, whenever it all happened, like I said, everyone was kind of down. Especially we were upset for our senior guys like Chenzo and Shaq and Mark and all them. But just had to bounce back. Adversity, it comes, but I think our team did a great job at staying in shape and staying ready. So whenever this season came, a lot of us were prepared.
Yeah. Talk about, going into this finals match against Trent Hidley. How do you say it, Sam?
I say it Hidley.
All right, Hidley it is then.
I don't know. I'm not. That's not correct, but
Yeah, you got the Hoagie man. Is this a match that you you had thought about previously? I know you said you don't really look at the bracket, but even as early back as the start of the season, do you ever feel like you were going to wrestle Hidley?
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to wrestle him in December on a Rockfin card in a freestyle. It was a freestyle event, but I think he hurt his like appendix or something. And I know he's a top competitor, so I knew he was one guy in the field that I might possibly see in the NCAA finals. But preparing for that match, I've wrestled him before, and I see the question. I think, did he game plan for the underhooks? Yeah. I felt the underhooks before, so honestly, even when we were wrestling, he would dig underhook. I didn't really, I was ready for that stuff. Even when he dug it, I felt like I was still in control. I just wanted to keep moving forward. I knew that that match would be huge for me to just try to get him shooting on me and me being offensive. But he had a good game plan. Like I said, I could kind of tell he came to try to win. I can't really say he wrestled the best way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Geez. Okay. So you're going towards the out of bounds. He's trying to return you, and then I guess it was kind of like a hip ice, and he goes straight to his back. What did you think you had swipes?
I thought I was gonna pin him, but he rolled out. He did a good job with that. But I came up and he was trying to drag me in bounds to keep his riding time, and I felt him like pulling back, and I was like, if I turn into him, I can kind of reverse it. So when I
Yeah.
did that, I was like, all right, he's on his back now. And then our coaches, I think Coach Casey did the brick, and I was like, man, that could have been backs, but
Could
I
have
didn't
been.
get
It
I think
was-
I
I would-
really think it probably was. Just looking
But
back, it was
it was
really
a cool
close.
position.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind. And then, you're up by what was the score? You're up by
It was like
three,
one.
3-2. Yeah, you was up by 1. And I mean, you already know what I'm gonna ask. He's deep on
Yeah.
your legs, like super deep. Man, what were you thinking? What's going through your head?
Bro, so I was like, all right, baseline. So I went to throw his head. He had I think it was a swim high C. So his head was on the outside. I was like, all right, throw his head in and then give him some hips, sprawl, and then defend. But I went to throw his head in. He kind of came up with it.
Yeah.
And then he started to push me towards the edge. And then I slapped like my hand slapped
Yeah.
off, and I was sliding back in, and I was like, "Oh, that's the mat." And I was like, "I gotta let go of that." And then he came up, and I grabbed his wrist and pulled him up just in time before my hands touched, I think. But I was like, "Yo, stay calm, because if you freak out, then you might give up too. So just remember your training. Throw his head inside, give him some hips." But
Yeah, no, that was, hey, dude. So this is actually a funny story. So we're watching the finals, and you're wrestling, and I mean, you're up by 1, and my buddy texts me. All he just says is sad, and then tries to FaceTime call me, and I was like, is his stream ahead of mine?
yeah,
Like, Aaron lose? And so I was like watching. I was like, oh man, no. And then they go out of bounds, and I was like, oh, he's gonna lose this challenge.
yeah.
All it turned out is my friend's stream went down, so he didn't know what was going on. So he was texting me, he's sad because the stream went down.
Oh man,
I was panicking.
That could have been hectic.
It could have been hectic, and he was probably FaceTiming me so he could figure out what was going on. But I just threw my phone away.
Like, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Oh man. So we asked Nick about this, and I bet we're gonna ask Carter and Roman too. But like, you got this tight knit group of guys, and like I've heard you guys talk. You guys, your family, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean for you guys as not only as a program but also as a group of brothers? To go 4-0 in the finals, get 6 All-Americans. Like, what does that mean for you guys?
It's great, watching your bros go out there and do something that they've been talking about all year. And since they were kids, being together all the time, especially during the pandemic, not being able to really be social, it's kind of brought us all closer together. So especially this year, seeing those guys, like I said, when Roman went out there and won, Nick Lee, Carter, and then we got Beard All-American, Greg All-American, just seeing that come into play, it was big. So I'm super excited for them. Still am. And yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's like if your little brother wins something or your older brother wins something, it's like, man, like that's a relief to you as well. It's like they did it, So.
Yeah, Nick said he was almost more hyped up for your guys' match than he was for his own. Did you feel that same?
I felt that, yeah, we kind of felt the same. Like me and Carter were up there watching them wrestle,
Mm-hmm.
and we just had to keep reminding each other, like, bro, breathe, stay calm.
Yeah.
The wrestle. But I think the video of Nick Lee whenever Carter wins, and he's just going crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's awesome. Did you watch Carter's match?
Yeah.
Did you?
Wow.
It's hard.
Dude, I don't know if I could do that because
I
you're
wouldn't be able to do
get
that.
excited.
For Carter, so I know because I think what was it? The first time I realized I gotta watch his matches like calm was whenever we were in Michigan because he wrestled Massa, and it went to like
awesome.
quadruple overtime.
Yeah,
And I just lost all my energy.
Uh,
But throughout the season, like each time he'd wrestle, I'd just be like, all right, watch it, but kind of just look in and out. Don't be like too into it just because I'm up next. So for Carter's matches, I can't really get too into it just because I'm up next.
Right.
But still, I was like, for his, I know I got to really relax. So I'm able to watch it, but
yeah.
I
I
like
don't
to
know
know
if I can
like,
do that.
if they're winning.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I can watch the scoreboard. That's about all I can watch. If
just,
somebody like, that I'm close with is before me or something.
yeah.
But hey, something that I've noticed with like you guys being so close throughout the years, like when Nick Neville's came in, he had a really good like overtie series in high school, and he came in, and guys like Nolf and guys like Vincenzo started to develop that, and then Vincenzo brought an inside trip to the table, and people started hitting inside trips left and right. Nick Lee won one,
Yeah.
and I feel like the techniques that guys bring to the table, everybody else develops. And it's really cool to see. Do you feel that in the wrestling room, like being able to develop techniques from guys that are in there that you get to learn from?
Yeah, 100%. I think that comes from two things. One, we roll with anyone. It's not like if you come in the room, weight, it doesn't matter. Like today, all right, I'm gonna wrestle with this guy, and it's not like you're trying to hurt him, but you're just trying to pick his brain and
Yeah.
learn from him. I think it just shows, like I said, really no egos, right? It's like, this guy does this really well. Let me go ask him how he's doing it. Regardless of his weight class, this is working for him. I want to try it out too. So I think it's just, I give credit to those two things.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really cool to see, like, from a fan perspective, like,
Nick
Roman
Lee inside choking in the finals.
yeah, but even like
exactly.
Jason would do a Winn-Dixie, and then Roman would go do a Winn-Dixie, and then Chenzo would do he'd do a mixer, then Mark would go do a mixer.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff's fun. it's fun to
cool.
watch. It's
Back when
clear, like,
Mark Hall and Bo Nickel would like race for who could get a quicker pin and stuff in the duels and stuff.
Nah, definitely. I can see them doing that. Those two are competitive.
Yeah.
who's gonna win the Hodge, Aaron?
I honestly think it'll be Gable or Spencer.
Yeah.
I think if I had to vote, I'd go with Gable, just because like we both talked about, though. If I go with Gable or Carr, those weight classes were deep.
Dude, Carr, he looked so good.
Yeah, he's a dog, man.
Dude, he's the best. And so I know you guys, he's your boy, right? Like, you guys are close. What does that mean, like, to have these friends on other teams and stuff who are coming through and getting it done?
It's like he's a brother to me, Like, we've been doing this for a while. I've known him for I think like 6 years now. And we've wrestled, warmed up together in like the Fargo finals. We've wrestled together in the US Open Vegas. We wrestled together at the World Championship. So when I see him, like, all year I don't see him, I see him at the NCAA Championship, just like we both know, all right, it's game time. And just like seeing him go out there and win, and then he's out there when I win, it's just like, yeah, that's my guy.
That's special. That's real special.
Here's a question for you that somebody asked from YouTube. Here, let's see if I can pull it up. So Ryan Simpson said Flo had Mark on their watch party during Aaron's match. I assume he's talking about Mark Hall. Would like to hear Aaron's thoughts on how much he learned from his time training with Mark and other NLWC guys, which is kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are veterans, especially last year when Mark was there. Me coming in as a freshman, he showed me a lot of stuff just about the way I compete, my mindset when I go out there, staying calm. And just having those guys in the room, I look over, it's just like Snyder's, David. I see those guys and how they train.
Mhm.
Like, all right, like, this works for them. So I should, I can do this as well, and I'll also be successful. So I think just not just their words and wisdom, even someone like Thomas Gilman, like I said, he's not my size.
Right.
Just him leading by example, right? The things he's doing every day. It's just great. It's a blessing.
It seems like an awesome room to be a part of, and I can just see you guys getting so much better. I mean, you had 4 champions, and you and Carter that was your first NCAA tournament. So, and I think it was all of your first NCAA finals. So just young guys like that in there. It's really cool to see Penn State just always dominant, and they've been for the last 10 years.
Aaron, when was the first time you wrestled with Carter?
Yeah, so it was our summer up here. Like, we first came up the summer, I think it was 2019, that summer. And he was like kind of off an injury when he came in. So like he couldn't like fully roll yet. He couldn't fully go live. But me and him, like, this I knew he was a competitor, because me and him, like, we were play wrestling for like an hour just going straight hard. But it was like 2 years ago.
Jeez. And I mean, he's a guy, like, through high school he was so good, and then now he's like, he just hit a level when he came to college. Man. All right. Well, let's see. We're trying to get Carter on right now. We're having a little technical difficulties.
Yeah,
he's in contact with him
in the studio, but it said no mic or camera connected. So trying to get him in here, but
Carter, we're trying, buddy.
Might be on the phone. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Join interview.
Yeah. But anyway, what's next for you? You wrestling freestyle this summer?
Yeah. So trials, and I think we leave Tuesday, and then
86.
86. Yeah, and then based off of that,
lots of Penn State guys at that weight.
Yeah, that's a fun one. But a lot of good guys that aren't Penn State. A lot of just great competition. I see Olympic trials. Every weight class is just, like I said, even as a fan, sport, super fun. But yeah, trials, and then going off of that, we'll see what's next. But definitely freestyle this summer.
Definitely helps to win that title, so you don't have to wrestle this weekend at the last chance.
Yeah, that last chance is looking good.
It is really tough.
It's a meat grinder, dude. It's tough.
Olympic year, man, I'm telling you, you see some some great wrestling.
Why is Alec Pantelio up at 74?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because he beat Jo. He beat Jo at 65.
I
Like,
don't know if he can make 65, bro.
It's got to be so hard to make that weight.
Because I think he usually wrestles 70, but he's still cutting like big time for that.
oh my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. You got to figure like it's Olympics, right?
Yeah,
And like
that's true. Go for
he's
it.
looking real good. Aaron, how big do you get?
Biggest I've been is like 200. Yeah,
200. That's pretty big.
$2.
Are you thinking he's staying at 84?
As of right now, yeah.
Jeez. Because we were talking to Austin O'Connor, and he says like, he gets up to like 70
Yeah.
and stuff. That's
He's
pretty
he's
big.
49.
Yeah.
49 pounds, got up to 7.
Stuff's crazy.
Nah, dude, he looked good. Him and Sasso had a great match.
That was
Right.
a good match. Did you think it was too?
I've seen it like once.
Yeah,
It can go either way. Like
it could.
it depends on the ref, in my opinion. I don't think I think some situations in wrestling are just so sticky.
Mhm.
Like it just depends on the day.
Yeah, it was close. That's for sure.
What do you
Yeah.
think of these? I don't want to get into too controversial stuff, but you see some of these calls that were getting, like Ironman's pin on
Yeah,
Tariq.
I think it was like Eiderman's pin. I think Jacob Warner.
Jacob Warner. Did you see the what was it? Llewellyn.
Yeah, I was wrestling whenever that happened.
when
Blue
when
Llewellyn
Warner.
style?
Yeah, no. When Warner was wrestling, so like I looked at the coaches because I was on top. It was like first round. I looked at them to see what I should do next, and they're just both looking over at the mat like this. And I was like, something crazy must have happened.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was Warner and
Renan.
Renan. Oh,
Renan,
that was
yeah.
first round.
It was first round. He was so close to getting. It was really
Yeah, that
close.
was insane.
Did you
Dude,
get to see Llewellyn and Heil? Did you get to see that call?
No, was that Heil? He's Campbell, right?
Heil's the Campbell guy, and Llewellyn
Yeah.
is Oakland State. And basically, what happened was the table worker didn't start the clock on time, and so they couldn't go back and review it to see if it was a takedown because they couldn't count the seconds, and it was
Oh,
it was
that's messed up.
horrible.
Someone got screwed, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
Heil
dang.
got beaten. It was bad. He got.
That's like
Yeah.
messed up. Like that's so messed up.
It was
And I
really
feel
bad.
like this year more than ever, like there were
There
some
was a lot
real
of crazy
there's some
calls. That's
crazy
what I heard.
calls.
Like people were just like, man, the calls this year.
refs were rusty. They
Yeah.
didn't get a lot of refing this year.
Like, I think it was. It could be that too. Just not having the practice.
Yeah. Well, hey, Aaron, thanks for coming on. I think we're actually gonna go to break real quick, and then we're gonna try to get Carter on here shortly.
Strong
So
bro. But now, boys, thanks for having me, guys. I
hey,
really
it's my
appreciate
pleasure,
it.
dog.
Thanks for coming on.
See you
All right,
around
man.
sometime soon.
You have a good one.
All right, you too. All right.
Throw this
We'll
to the
take
break,
a quick
Sam.
break, and then hopefully we'll get Carter on in a second. All right,
So
we're back.
here, 1 second.
There we go. Carter.
There we go.
Let's go.
Jude, we have 2 of you right now in the studio. Are you on your phone or just 2 of them on the computer?
All right, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
There we go.
What in the
All right, I think we're good.
awesome?
Layout. All right,
Nice.
there we go.
And we're back. Here with Carter Strachey. Little technical difficulties, but we're here now. Carter, like the shirt, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It's looking good. Yeah, of course you do. It's not every day you're on a 2 high schoolers podcast.
No,
So,
it's awesome.
so hey, Carter, congratulations. Heck of a tournament. Heck of a finals match. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much, and I'm feeling good. You know, it was fun to be out there and compete. You know what I mean? I won some close matches, so obviously I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that and obviously get better and score more points. But it's nice to get the win. You know what I mean?
Right. Always nice to win. Have you watched your matches yet?
Yeah, I watched them a few, but like I'm not a big fan of watching wrestling, honestly. So I don't watch too much of it.
Aaron
Man.
was just on and said he was a big fan of wrestling. It's just funny how
I can barely hear you, Sam.
Okay. I was just saying Aaron was just on and was saying that he's a big fan of wrestling. It's
I
funny
still
to
can't
see
hear,
how
bro.
Sam, are you too quiet?
I must be too quiet.
I can hear you just fine. Carter, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I can't hear him at all.
Jude, you want to relay my question?
Yeah. So, it's funny. We just had Aaron on. He was talking about how much he enjoys watching wrestling. And he said like he'd be in the hotel room, like watching other guys and seeing how other guys were doing.
Yeah.
And he's a fan of that stuff. I mean, it's cool just to see like different guys like different stuff. Going into the NCAA tournament, did you look at your bracket all? Do you know who you're gonna wrestle or?
No, I mean, I seen the bracket and everything, and I was like, it's fine, you know what I mean? Because like, I'm a guy who like, it don't matter what the seed is or like who the guy is, you know what I mean? I really don't see any opponent, and I just go out there and I do my thing regardless. So that's probably why like I'm not like a huge fan and like it's watching things like that, you know what I mean? Because I just take care of what I have to take care of, you know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, like Carter, like you're a young guy coming out here. Were you nervous? Were you nervous for your first NCAA tournament?
No, not at all. You know what I mean? I knew I was a champ way before the season even started. You know what I mean? I knew I was a champ when I was born. So like, that's how I carry myself. You know what I mean? So
straight out the womb, you're like
yeah,
NCAA champ,
so,
baby.
like, I don't know, cause like when I get a goal out, you know what I mean? And then like I'm already that. You know what I mean? Like I don't see guys as like a higher than me. You know what I mean? So like I was calm and collected, and I feel like it helps having guys on our team that are experienced, like Roman, Aaron, Nick, and then obviously our coaches too. So like all that helps.
Yeah. How much do you look up to these guys? For everything, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good people. You know what I mean? Like off the mat as well. You know what I mean? I hang with Aaron a lot, and guys like Roman and Nick, they're just good people, and they kind of stick to themselves. You know what I mean? But they lead by example with like how they're doing in life and how they're doing with their grades and all that stuff. So it's awesome to be a part of Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, and it's awesome for us too to like, talk to you guys one after the other, and like, it's clear you guys are more than just teammates. You're like a family, right? You're brothers.
Yeah, we are.
What was that like coming into Penn State? You took a red shirt last year, I believe, and was it hard for you to get into like the team aspect of it?
Oh no, not really. You know what I mean? It was nice redshirting. You know what I mean? I got close with all the guys, and that was cool, and I got to learn. So that was pretty awesome. But like, I'm a team player. You know what I mean? And it makes it a lot more fun when there's a team aspect. You know what I mean? Because then you wrestle a little harder for your team, and obviously it's more fun to win as a team than just by yourself. So that makes it a lot more fun.
And I mean, like, talk about you guys went 4-0 in the finals. You guys had 6 All-Americans, second in the team. Like, these are like really big accomplishments. Like, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You know what I mean? When I see Nick and Roman wrestle, it was me and Aaron actually went up in the bleachers and we were watching, and we started getting a little emotional, and we were like, yo, like, we have to leave this scene. You know what I mean? Because like we have to wrestle now, and like
Yeah.
we were getting a little fired up and all that stuff because like we just watched those guys work hard all year, so it was nice seeing them win. And then when it was our turn, I was just like, yo, like this is what I do. And then mid match, I look in the corner and like all my coaches are all national champs. So then that's kind of like that kind of just like I don't know, it just that's like a big power in itself. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
all these guys have won this moment, so now it's my turn. So I feel like that's like a big bonus.
You think that there's any pressure that comes with that too?
I feel like if you allow it, you know what I mean? I know that some guys on our team, maybe they let it affect them, but I feel like it's all in how you look at things. You know what I mean? Like if you look at it like, oh, like I have to do this and I have to do that, then it can hold you back. But if you just enjoy the moment and do what you love, I feel like it'll help you.
Yeah. How, have you always thought this way? How much has, being in the Penn State room helped mold your mentality? Like, I assume like a lot of this stuff is rubbing off on you from, like you said, you got guys like Casey Cunningham who's in your ear, right? And he's like one of the best, most positive people I know. So like, what is that for you?
I mean, I know what you mean. I pretty much always had this mindset, but obviously coming to Penn State, it's like it's improved my mindset and all that stuff. Because like when you look around in the room, everyone's a go-getter. You know what I mean? And everyone loves the sport, and they're just super positive. You know what I mean? When you're back in the tunnel, all you hear is you're the NCAA champ, you're the best. You know what I mean? So like that's all you're hearing, and then that's what you believe. So then when you walk around and just your daily life, it's just all that positivity is just like inside you.
I mean, like that just makes a huge difference. Like nobody likes wrestling when you feel bad and you're thinking all these negative thoughts. Like that's when wrestling's not fun. So it's really good. I'm sure you'll agree. Like it's good to be surrounded by people who are positive and people who are telling you the right things. That helps you excel. Taking a look at your bracket, like, 74 was pretty dang tough. I mean, you have a guy like Kemmer who, like, what is this, his 5th year, 6th year? Like,
yeah, he's pretty old.
He's been around a long time. He's also been around a long time at like 57 and whatever, wrestling Jason Nolf. So, talk about like, would you say you have a rivalry with a guy like Kemmer? What was your mentality going into this finals match?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good bracket for sure. You know what I mean? But I had some pretty good experience. It was leading up in that tournament. With us being the Big Ten, I wrestled most of the top guys already in the season, and I came out on top. So I feel like that schedule kind of helps, and it prepares you for it's the big show. And I wouldn't look at as Kemmer as a rival. You know what I mean? I see him as just another guy that has to go down. So I'm sure he's a good guy and all that, but I don't have any friends in this game. You know what I mean? I don't look to make friends and be nice. You know what I mean? So it's business when I get in there. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he knows the same thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like we see it, right? You go out there, and it doesn't matter like what happened in the past. Like you got to go take care of business, today, right? Yeah. So, going into the Big Ten finals, I'm sure you believe, like without a doubt, you're like telling yourself you're the champ. You lose that close match. Coming out of it, what's your mentality?
Yeah, my first thoughts after the match was like, geez, like I just gotta get better. You know what I mean? And then like I'm just thinking like Coach Kill's really a beast. You know what I mean? Like that dude never lost, and like he figured it out with just him winning all the time. So that's pretty cool. And after that loss, I just realized like, geez, like I just have so much room to get better. And I watched the match, and I made a lot of errors with like my technique. So like that's always fixable. You know what I mean? Like my heart's always there. I'm not gonna give up. I'm always gonna be in your face. So I just had to improve on some game plan errors and all that stuff. But other than that, I still knew I was a better wrestler.
And that's a good confidence for you. And like, would you say taking that loss, did that help you to get it done? Just a week later.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it helped me. You know what I mean? Just from a learning aspect, because when you go through something like that, I wouldn't call it a loss. I would call it like a learn. And like when you go through that, it like puts all your mistakes in like bold. You know what I mean? And like it like shouts it out. So like when you're watching the film and you obviously didn't get your hand raised, it's like, all right, like So now like everything's all like out there. So then you can just fix all those mistakes. And like I do the same thing even when I win. I try and like always like examine all my matches and see where I can improve and all that.
Mm.
So I would look at it as it helped. You know what I mean? I feel like every situation helps me.
For sure. So, looking forward to freestyle. Do you
I
have
still
any
can't
plans?
hear Sam.
You can't hear me, right?
Sam. Aha, get out of here, dude.
Well,
Dude, so looking forward to freestyle. Like, are you gonna be at the trials here in a couple
Yeah,
weeks?
I'll be at the trials here.
Well, wait,
86 kg.
86. You guys got
Another one.
Six,
Penn
yeah.
State's got a lot of guys at 86.
No, yeah, I was planning on 74, but there's just not enough time to get down in time. So
Mm.
I'll be at 86.
What do you walk around at?
Probably like 78. Honestly, not. But like it don't matter the weight class, so I'll just
Right.
go out there and do my thing and win.
I love it, man. I have a
Yeah.
question. Is there you're training with these guys,
Yeah.
right? And you got a guy like Aaron, you got a guy like David Taylor, you got a guy like Bo Nickel. Like you guys are all probably gonna be in the same bracket here in a couple weeks. Like you think any of that is goes through your mind while you're training at all?
Not really. You know what I mean? I feel like the part that sucks is because like it's me and Brooks. We've been talking about us being Olympic champs like all summer and like these past couple years about us being Olympic champs on the same team. So that kind of stinks. But like at the end of the day, it's individual sport. You know what I mean? And you have to do what's best for you. And as far as Bo and Dave, I try and learn from everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of awkward in the room sometimes because like like he has to be taken out, but like I feel like how I take it is just like it's just business. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
It stays on the mat, and then after the mat, it's all cool. But like I know some guys don't take it that way.
So looking forward to the future. Obviously you won your title. You want 3 more, right? You're gonna want to make the Olympic team here in a couple weeks. What other long-term goals do you have for yourself? Both on and off the mat.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously want to win. I want to win the Olympics this year, and then I want to be a world champion, and then I plan on winning all the rest of the NCAA titles. And then after I accomplish all my goals, I was going to go into fighting, and then get a UFC belt, and then win that, and then go off and do my own thing and out in the real world with like all my businesses and all that stuff.
Geez, you ever think about coaching?
Yeah, I thought about it. That'd be a good route.
You know what? It's funny, like talking to Nick Lee, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna get my, I'll graduate, and then after that, like, I don't really know." Whereas,
Yeah.
like you got your whole life planned
I have
out
the
pretty
whole thing-
much.
Yeah, I have the whole thing planned out. And obviously, like as each day goes on, like you'll learn different things, and like you'll get a hold of like new contacts and things like that, and you can like drift. But like I have a clear vision on what I want, so like it kind of makes it easier when you have like a clear vision.
Yeah. So another thing we talked about with Aaron is, how a lot of you Penn State guys use each other's techniques and like learn from each other, right? And it's fun for us, as fans, like to go out and, we're watching, for example, like Jason Wolf hits his Winn-Dixie. Now Roman hits a Winn-Dixie. Chenzo goes and hits a mixer, and then there goes Mark Hall hitting a mixer. Like you guys like to do a lot of this stuff together. What kind of culture do you guys have around that there at Penn State? And do you guys plan this out? Do you guys go and talk to each other? Like, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit this.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll plan some moves out and things like that. And we'll have fun with it. So like when we're at practice, we're kind of just like, we're just making like these random moves up, you know what I mean? And like, that's a big credit to, it's Coach Cody, because he's the one behind, it's the Winn-Dixie. And I don't know if people know
Right.
that, but like, so our coaches have some weird moves, and it's just on us to hit them, and then like we'll get excited, and then like we'll have like a little competition going on with like ourselves and seeing like who can do like the most moves and all that stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's such a fun team environment.
Yeah,
Man,
it's almost
that's-
like recess, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you're just
yeah, it's not like a lot of people, they go into practice and they're like, the same way that you're going to go into like a job that you hate, right? Or like going to work in the morning and you're like, I don't want to go do this, right? And
Exactly.
sometimes, I mean, we all have those practices like where we don't feel our best, but it sounds like from what we've heard today is that a lot of you Penn State guys are really, enjoying what you guys are doing.
No, for sure. It's kind of funny because like when it hits like it's 3 o'clock, like I get all excited because like that's like the highlight of my day. You know what I mean? So like I get all fired up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, talking more, looking at, your future at Penn State, do you have 3 years left or you got to come back for 4? Because this year, how is that working?
I think I have 4 years of eligibility left because this year didn't count, but I'm not sure if I'll use all of them. So like we'll just take it as each year goes on.
Right. It's hard to like plan that stuff out, especially with,
Yeah, it is.
You might be injured or something like that. Hope not, but
Yeah. No, yeah.
And then, you plan on staying at 74, you plan on going up. Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I plan on staying at 74. You know what I mean? I kind of have a good frame unless I grow and get bigger and then go 84. But like that's all has to be planned out with our team. You know what I mean? Like
right.
See what all the other guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just hop around and like make guys go down. But like obviously, if you get too big and you have to go up and you have to do what you have to do. But other than that, though, I plan on staying at 74.
And then how long? Talk about UFC, man. What's your transition into that? How long have you been wanting to do some real fighting?
Yeah. I've always wanted to do some fighting, you know what I mean? I've always like enjoyed watching it, you know what I mean? And I've always wrestled my whole life too. And like as a kid, I would always get in like a lot of confrontation, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's getting some fights as a kid. So like I've always loved doing that too, you know what I mean? I just like I don't know, I just like walking around and just like I like knowing that there's not a man that can beat me, you know what I mean? I kinda have that mojo. But like me, Aaron, and Greg, we're pretty close, and like all of us like we've been fighting all summer and doing jitsu and all that stuff, and
yeah,
it's real fun. So like we all plan doing it soon.
Man, well, dude, like congratulations and thanks again for coming on our show. Like you, like what an inspiration. This is actually cool. I don't know if you know this, but my freshman year was your senior year, and we actually both won regional titles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I won it at 115.
Awesome.
You won it at what? I don't know. What weight were you at? 60?
I can't remember. I think it was like 182 my senior year.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I think you teched my buddy in the finals.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I was so
college.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even think I can make it public yet. But it's a big decision. It's something I think about, but I'm also trying not to take it too seriously, have some fun with it too.
Yeah, no, definitely have some fun, and just as long as you keep working, you know what I mean, and have a clear vision, I feel like everything will work out.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, you're next to get your national title too.
Yeah, right.
I'll be excited to watch that.
Man, it's awesome. Sam, do you have anything to say, and then I can tell Carter?
No, just appreciate it, and Daddy couldn't hear me, but glad.
Sam says he hates your shirt. I don't. It's messed up, man. I can't believe he'd say that to you. All right. Well, hey Carter, thanks for coming on. I think we're gonna go to a break here really quickly, but yeah, and I think that'll be it. All right, thanks, bro.
Fuck, guys, I appreciate it. I'm sorry, Sam, I couldn't hear you, but it was awesome to have me on.
Hey, you're the man. We appreciate you, bud.
I appreciate it. Have a good one. God bless.
All right, Jude. How's my audio?
You sound great. I can't believe you'd really go say that to Carter. That's messed up, man. But
I hope the viewers can actually hear what I was saying. I'm sure they can if you can hear me. So
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, so I think that about wraps it up for right now. We had some issues with Roman, and then Shane Griffith will be coming on. That'll come next week. So I will upload that as a separate interview, and then maybe, who knows, we might be able to get David Carr. And some
Gable and Spencer.
Maybe
not Spencer. Spencer don't do no interviews.
Spencer doesn't do interviews. If I did that, I'd have to tie him to a chair and make him do it.
Answer the question. Boom. I don't think you could tie Spencer Lee to a chair.
So? That'd be hard.
No, I don't think you could.
I don't know if anybody could. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get all this uploaded and archived. This is my first time using this software, so we'll see how it works. I think everything was pretty smooth other than Carter had some issues. And hopefully we can do some more interviews. I was thinking if this went well, which I think it did, we might be able to get a couple coaches on for our next show, just to talk about the NCAAs I think that would be lots of fun. And Jude can talk to coaches, and I can talk to coaches for like.
Yeah, that's right. We can finally, man. Your time is running out here shortly though, because I think in eighth grade, I don't think you can.
No, I can in 8th grade. I talked to some compliance people at some colleges. I'll be
All right, maybe. We don't want to get Sam Herring canceled or anything like that.
We're canceling Sam.
Well, thank you guys for tuning into the Home Advantage Wrestling Podcast. I am Jude Swisher. That's Sam Herring. Our guests have included Austin O'Connor, AJ Ferrari, Austin O'Connor, Eric Gibbs. Nope, not Eric Gibson. Eric Thompson.
Aaron Brooks, Nick Lee, Carter Staraki.
Yeah, hopefully we got some more coming up here shortly. But until next time, guys,